Good evening, it's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered, and we
Come on, give it to us straight.
give it to you straight every single time. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, the Sunday night review. Let's talk a little bit about the Ukraine situation and how it's impacting us here in the city of Yonkers. I'll also go over some of Yonkers news. What's been going on here in the city? Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez with Basement Politics Unfiltered. How you doing this evening? Hope you had a great weekend. I did, just kind of relaxing. Celebrated my anniversary, my wife, 24 years with that lovely woman, and I don't regret any second of it. So I spent some time doing that, yeah, that was it. So it was a quiet weekend. I did want to come on tonight and talk about a few things. First, I wanted to just let you know something I read. I thought it was very interesting. In the state of New York, according to survey or research, they've identified the happiest place, right? What do you think is the happiest place in the state of New York? New York City? I don't know what else would be happy in New York. Well, I'll just give it to you. Yonkers. The city of Yonkers was voted the happiest place in New York. Could you believe it? The city of Yonkers? Yeah, I don't know how true that is. Even the guy that wrote the article was a bit confused about that. And he says he's been to Yonkers and also was in Beacon. And what he noticed from both places is that Beacon seemed happier. In Yonkers, he saw someone cursing at a pigeon. And that's funny, but also it could be a mental health issue that the person was suffering from if that's actually what he saw. Anyway, according to extensive Wallet Hub research, project ranking the happiest cities in the country, no city in New York is in the top 10 as the happiest in the country or in the top 20 or even top 30. How does that sound? The first New York city on the list comes at 44, which is Yonkers. So actually, Yonkers is the 44th happiest in the country, making it number one in the state of New York because no other city in the state of New York ranked on that list there, or at least in the top 40 or top 50 there. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? Yonkers, the 44th happiest city in the country. That's very interesting. Anyway, moving on, I do want to give an update on the recent shooting on Riverdale Avenue. If you don't know, there was a shooting earlier this week. An individual, 29-year-old male, was found dead inside his apartment of a gunshot wound. Family members walked into the apartment to find the gentleman on the floor in a puddle of blood, and he was unresponsive. They called 911. Police arrived. The man was dead, had passed away. And I want to send my condolences to the family because, again, I do know the family of the individual. So I send my condolences. Police have identified a suspect. I do know the first name. The suspect's name is Will. He is currently on the run. Police are searching for the gentleman. The gentleman was apparently a former roommate of this victim. They had gotten into an argument over some stolen items. Apparently, the suspect stole from the victim. So the victim kicked him out of the apartment. And he came back with a vengeance, apparently, and was upset about that. Killed the individual who was 29 years old. And now he's on the run. So again, police have identified a suspect. They have a motive in the shooting that happened earlier this week on Riverdale that left a 29-year-old male dead in his apartment. It was a former roommate who had been kicked out of the apartment. He is currently on the run. I have a first name, Will, and that's all I have now. Police are not releasing much information because the investigation is still active. In other news, a man is accused of pushing a Yonkers mom to make child pornography using her son. That's right, her son. A woman was coerced by a man who she met online into creating child pornography using her 6-year-old son. Yeah, the woman was arrested also. She says that the man coerced her into making the child pornography using her son. And police warned that there may be other victims or other women, other moms, who may have been lured by this individual online and coerced into using their children to create child pornography, which the mom would then send to the individual via the internet. And I would imagine that he's probably selling it or sharing it. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, Yonkers' mom arrested along with the man who was accused of pushing her, says, according to the article, to make the child pornography using her son. And again, authorities warned that there may be other moms. That's sad. Yonkers Public Library will have a pop-up vax site. That's right. They do pop-up shops for clothing, for other stuff, even marijuana. That's right. They have pop-up marijuana shops or whatever. And, people go and you have to be in the inn and just because I know doesn't mean I'm in the inn. I talk to people. Anyway, it's legal now. Whatever. But yeah, they have these pop-up shops for clothing, sneakers, and all that stuff. You got to be hip. It's a new thing now. Or they'll just open up a location for a day. And now they're doing it with vaccines. That's right. The Yonkers Public Library will have a pop-up vaccine site on Sunday, a week from today, 2 weeks from today, March 19th. Same day as Nader's event. That's right. Nader Sage will be announcing or will be having his kickoff event on March 19th for his re-election bid for Assembly. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I do want to mention that Republican Joe Pinion has secured the GOP endorsement or designation for a historic bid against Democrat and longtime career politician Chuck Schumer, as he's known, has been in politics for as long as I can remember. But Joe Pinion, who is an African-American male from Yonkers, will be challenging him, and he has gotten endorsement and designation of the GOP. That's going to be a historic run. Chuck Schumer has been in politics for a very long time. Democrat, well-known, well-established. He's one of the probably like the most famous of the politicians there in Washington. He, along with Nancy Pelosi. Hopefully Joe Pinion wins. And again, it's not because I'm a Republican. No, I never, base it on party. But I do know about Chuck Schumer, and it's time for him to go. So Joe Pinion, you have my support. You have my support there. So I would love to have you on the show so we can talk about that and your campaign bid there for Congress. So if you're listening, Joe, or you will listen, or someone who's listening or listens and knows Joe, please let him know that I would love to have him on so we can discuss, and I'll reach out to him. Just look out for the email. Well, anyway, I want to get into some national politics. All right? National politics. The Ukraine and Russian conflict continues to dominate the news, but it's dominating our entire lives at this point. And while it may be a national conflict, it is affecting us here locally in many ways. Very recently, the Yonkers police, and along with Mike Spano, the mayor, gathered some old police equipment, helmets, vests, and other equipment, I guess, body armor, no guns or nothing like that, but it was mostly just clothing, helmets, and stuff like that, protective gear, to send over to the Ukraine in support of the Ukrainian military, government, police. I'm not sure. I guess they don't have this stuff, although they seem to be doing quite well, because according to reports, about 40 Russian troops have been killed by Ukrainians. So they must be doing well. But anyway, local area organizations, as well as community members and the mayor and the city, have began gathering goods to donate to the Ukrainian people and government and military. They've been gathering everything from food and clothing to diapers, and again, police equipment, police protective equipment, helmets, vests, and other gear, and everyone's getting in on it. New York State politicians, Westchester County politician, it's the trending topic. And I'm not trying to be negative again, because I call things out. It seems like I'm negative, but it just bothers me, and not anything against the Ukrainian people or Ukraine, and forget that for a second, put that to the side. It bothers me when people can gather together and put so much energy, right? They can create this energy and create this movement for certain causes, but other causes that have been in dire need of, attention, other issues barely get mentioned. Right. So I don't understand that. And I base it on the fact that it's probably because it's a trending topic. It's a national topic. Everybody's talking about it. So it's something that you can talk about that will get people's attention. Oh, look, they got the Ukrainian flag on. They're wearing the Ukrainian colors. But what about all the American children that are in dire need of healthcare, nutrition, a home? And I'm not trying to say forget about certain individuals. I'm not. We can help everyone, and we should as much as we can. But however, if we don't address issues right here in front of our face that are in dire need, I don't see why we are able to put so much energy and resources into assisting people that are thousands and thousands of miles away. And we should be able to do that. But let's also focus on individuals here, because there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed. And they're little by little, I guess, slowly touching on them. But it's still, enough is not being done. And I see this time and time again, not just with the conflict in the Ukraine, but other issues that become national topics, hot button issues, right? Trending topics. People are talking about it all over social media. So you get all the politicians to jump on it, like when they all went over there by the DMV, all the Democrats in the hot heat, right, wearing suits and all these fancy dresses and stuff, standing there in protest of Donald Trump, right? But when they needed to come out to the community, when we have an increasing, crime rate, another individual was killed here in the city of Yonkers this week. More gun violence. Where are the politicians? Why are they not coming out to stand against that? And that's just my issue with it. So it just doesn't seem all the way genuine. If it is genuine, then you're going to be consistent, right? Westchester rallies for Ukraine. That's the article here in the Yonkers Time, and I will share that. You can see all the beautiful people there. Westchester rallies for the Ukraine, you see Mike Breen there, County Legislator James Nolan, the Mayor Mike Spano. You see David Tubiolo. David Tubiolo, I like him. He's a good guy, very good guy. Westchester County Legislator. I've met him a while back, actually, before I got to know anybody else or even did base in politics. Met him through mutual friends. And the guy, he supports all cultures, all nationalities, all ethnicities, races, He's very multicultural, the guy. You can find him in the Irish, part of the Irish club, Italian club. You know what, David? Can you join? You're going to join the Puerto Rican club with me? I'm going to create it. You're going to walk around with a Puerto Rican flag for me, Dave. But he does. He's very, he engages and integrates himself into, all this culture and heritage that is found here in the city of Yonkers. That's what he does. Great. But he's consistent. He's consistent. It's not just because this is hot button issue here in the Ukraine. He's consistently like that. Then you have Senator, Andrew Stewart Cousins, Senator Shelley Mayer. We have Latimer there, George Latimer, and others. And if I'm missing someone, I didn't name everyone, but yeah. So they rallying together. They're coming to support Ukraine, and that's great. If that's how they feel, if they believe it truly what they believe, that's great. Support it. But I just want to see people come together for causes that are here in the city of Yonkers and county of Westchester, like homelessness, drug addiction is a big problem. Drug addiction is a big problem, especially among the young people. And I don't see folks gathering together to do this. I don't see the rallies. And it's a huge problem, folks, because there are people that are suffering. And not just homeless people, not just homeless, not just Hispanics, not just blacks, right? There are people all over the city of Yonkers, all colors, that are dealing with drug addiction, specifically young people. Young people. There is an opioid crisis here in the city of Yonkers. Why is it not talked about? Because they want to keep it hush hush. We want to get the people to come into these lovely developments that are going to be going up, just like that article. The happiest city in Yonkers, state of New York is Yonkers. Why would that be the case? How much did they pay for that? How much did they pay for that article to be written there? Because that article was actually in a website that has to do with rental properties and stuff, real estate. All right. So I don't know if Yonkers is the happiest place. You know, a lot of people are getting shot. People are dying, getting murdered. There are people overdosing. There was overdose on Carroll Avenue this week. On 31 Carroll Avenue. So we had a murder, we had an overdose this week, and that's just what I know of. So is Yonkers the happiest place? They've always said there was a black cloud over Yonkers. But we're going to rally for Ukraine because that's what affects us most. And it does affect us. It affects us at the oil, at the gas prices, at the gas pumps. It affects all goods and even services. The sanctions that have been placed on Russia by the U.S. government is impacting the prices of oil. And I know some people say, well, that's not true. Biden doesn't impact the oil. That's OPEC. No, his policies can have an impact, and they are. And that is why many of these politicians, specifically on a national level, are saying that we, American people, need to make a sacrifice. Really. They're not sacrificing. They have multiple sources of income, and they actually generate more money in times like this, unlike the majority of American people who suffer and have been suffering and cannot continue to suffer. Now, while these politicians are parading around with yellow and blue, they need to focus on the needs of the American people who are hurting and put that red, white, and blue on. All right? Because America needs you guys to rally as well. And this is not an anti-anybody. This is a pro-America needs help here. We have issues here in the city. So let's rally for that. All right. I also saw another interesting article. Mike Breen, as you saw there, I mentioned, was at the rally for Westchester elected officials for Ukraine there. He will be running against Nader Sage if Nader Sage makes it through the primaries. Although Mike Breen has not officially announced he will be. He announced that he is making an announcement on March 11th. So tune into that. The announcement will be that he is running for assemblyman. Now, I could be wrong, but that's what we hear. It has also been reported in the New York Times. So Mike Breen will be running for assemblyman. He will be trying to unseat Nader Sage. That's if Nader Sage makes it through the primary. And I don't know if there's anyone challenging him in the primary, although I could be wrong. But as it stands now, it looks like it will be a Nader Sage, Mike Breen race. And there was an article in the New York Times that called it it's titled Breen to Challenge Sage for Assembly. The Battle of the Nice Guys. Yes, the Battle of the Nice Guys. Are these guys nice? It's been a long time since two well-known and well-liked. Well-liked? How much did he pay you to write this article? Well-liked? These two individuals are among the two among those that I get negative things said about them, not positive. So it's funny. It says well-liked. I would like to, I beg to differ. Anyway, well-liked Yonkers elected officials square off against each other. We have to go back to 2006 when Shelley Mayer challenged Mike Spano for assembly. Spano won 52% of 48%. That was the same year that Democrat Andrea Stewart Cousins narrowly defeated Republican State Senator Nick Spano. We have the type of contest again with the petitions about to go for our city. Councilman Mike Breen to run for assembly in the 90th district against Democratic incumbent Nader Sage. Well, Yonkers Times, that's if Sage makes it to the primary if someone challenges him. but that's not set in stone. Sage is seeking his third term after serving for many years in the Yonkers Public Schools and on the Yonkers Board of Education. Breen is serving his 10th year on the council representing the 5th District of East Yonkers. He will be done. Term limits, that's it. He's come to the end of his term. Some have speculated that they may be a 4th term. I don't know how true that is, but you never know. It is a possibility. And unless there is a 4th term, Mike Breen will not have a job. So he needs to find somewhere else to sit his rear end. And he's looking at the assembly seat to do so. That's where he wants to park his butt. Supporters of Assembly Sage tell us there is no reason to replace Nader. He has done good job for Yonkers, but what has he done for Yonkers? I love when people say they do a good job. They done great. They did this. They blah, blah, blah. What did they do? What exactly did they do? How did it impact the city for the better? And was it sustained? Right? I think Mike wants to see what the type of people have to say about bail reform and some other issues, and see if this November is a red wave of Republican victories. That's what some are saying about Mike Breen. He's looking to take advantage of a potential Republican red wave because all the crappy stuff that the Democrats have been doing. Bail reform really sucked. And a lot of people, including Democrats, were just not happy with it. And Nader Sage was a big supporter of bail reform. Nader Sage is known to flip-flop. And I hate to make Nader Sage look like the guy that should not be voted for, because if that is the case, then it will be Mike Breen who will win. I'm not too fond of the guy either. Nice guys, these guys don't respond to emails. That's from constituents, and that's from my own experience, or they receive a generic reply. What does the man do? He's more worried about Ukraine than his own constituents. When they're having issues, he doesn't do anything about it, but simply send a generic response. So he'll be announcing on March 11th that he will be running for assembly. Great. Yeah, that's what we want. Does anyone here in the city of Yonkers or state of New York that can run for the assembly seat there want to run? Please say it now. Speak up now. You're needed. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting race. Some say that Nader Sage actually wants to become mayor. So he will have to be, run for re-election until the time comes to run for mayor, if that is what he wants to truly do. That is a strong rumor, and I say that because I hear it often. Although I also hear that Rubo, the golden boy, but I have been hearing a lot of Nader. So who knows? We'll see. But Nader, this guy does it all. He will be joining Senator Elijah Melnick to stop Russian aggression. Really? How will you do that, Mr. Sage? How will you stop Russian aggression? How does he intend to do that? Is that just another politician jumping on the bandwagon? Like I said, Ukraine is a hot button issue, it's a hot topic. Everybody's talking about it. So here comes Nader making a comment. I'm going to join Senator Elijah Melnick to stop Russian aggression. You cannot even stop homelessness, drug addiction, and mental health issues right in front of your office. How will you stop Russian aggression? Russia is one of the most powerful countries in the world. I'd like to see you do that. My money is that you will not do it. But that's what he says he's going to do. He was also at Larkin Plaza not too long ago campaigning, basically what he's doing, because he doesn't often come out unless it's a chance to show himself to people, to promote. It's a cause that will get a lot of attention. Then he will be there. If he's asked also to join, he will be there. Other than that, he does nothing. And when people say they do so much for the city, what? What have they done? Please tell me. Tell me, what has Nader Sage done besides hold the tables in his office for Tasha Diaz's food distribution at Chicken Island? What? Please tell me. You've been in an accident? Call Nader Sage. He will help you there. I can guarantee it. And by the way, if you suffered damages from the flood, from Hurricane Ida, and your insurance company would not cover it, and you needed to apply for FEMA funds, go see Nader. He can get you to the front of the line somehow, some way, from what someone told me he was doing for them. That's true. Just want to let you know if you need the help. The money may have run out by now, though. Just wanted to let you know. Anyway, is Nader Sage feeling the pressure because Mike Breen will be announcing that he is running against him? Mike Breen, as the article said, is well known. He's been in council here in the city of Yonkers for 10 years now. His wife, a real estate agent, does business with Rand Realty, from what I hear, and is tied in with the establishment. He has full support. From what I hear, Nader is not so liked by the establishment. I wasn't, I was actually surprised to hear that. But according to sources, yeah, that is the truth. They're not a big fan of Nader. And that is why they're supporting Mike Breen up against him. Who knows? There's so much different news. Who knows? Who knows what's actually happened? Who knows? But the nice guys, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. But the Yonkers Times is the official paper of the city of Yonkers. So it is expected of the Yonkers Times to write articles like that. Otherwise, come the reshuffling of seats or positions and all that stuff like they did recently where John Rubo was named majority whip and Tasha Diaz majority leader, and Yonkers Times, official newspaper of the city, he will be out and someone else will be in. It was almost me, but I turned down the offer. Just to let you know, Mr. Times, just to let you know. Because I didn't need the advertisement money. I want to keep it to people. I want to give it to the people real and honest. Not lying, not false news, fake news. I wanted to give it to the people real, honest, unbiased, unfiltered. I want to give it to them.
Come on, give it to us straight.
Straight. Just like Corazon Pineda wanted Duncan or Duskin Lackett to give it to her. Straight. That's what she said in the city council meeting. I did a podcast about it the other day, Friday night, in the Friday Night Review. I suggest you go check that out. Pretty good. Talked about the silly meeting where council members show just how unprepared they are and how unprofessional they are when it comes to their job as city council members. Yet they want full-time pay and they want vehicles and other perks. They can't even go to City Hall to do the meetings. Why have cars? They can't even come up with questions to ask these individuals. Why be a council member? This is what Shanae Williams said.
Doing interviews
Letting Helen off easy.
Are we doing interviews right now?
Yes, I sent that text message yesterday if you had any questions for the candidates.
Yes, but I thought it was going to be like after we went through the agenda, we would then do interviews. But I'm okay. I don't have any questions. I know.
Okay.
I think she's great. I think she'll be a great first deputy council.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And then the deputy clerk moves it along because he's like, this is silly. This is ridiculous. Guys, you're not supposed to say this live in the meeting, that you're unprepared, that you were notified of this in via text message just yesterday. No diss to nobody. But if I was city council president, I might have sent an email with the resumes to each and every one of the council members and said, please review these resumes and have at least 2 to 3 questions prepared to ask these individuals. This is very important. Thank you. Have a nice day. Not a text message, because then you get what you get with Shanae Williams. And then you get a silly question like the one Corazon asked about 1908 in the city charter or something like that. And she laughed it off and giggled and said, come on, give it to me straight. Freudian slip. You ever heard of that? Freudian slip? Yeah, that's what that was. That's what that was. He also wants to waste Nader's war chest so he can run for mayor. It's actually the Spanos versus Sehi. Oh, really? It's the Spanos versus Sehi. He wants to waste Nader. So Mike Breen is looking, and yes, I've heard that also. He's looking to run against Nader simply to, well, maybe not simply, he might win, but also to waste his funds that he's got So that way, when it comes time to start running for mayor, all those who may be interested, he may be depleted of his funds. That is a tactic that individuals use many, many times. For example, like when they ran Lenora Dijon Balaj, the sister of Henry, or is it the wife? Something like that. I think whatever, sister maybe, against against John Rubo, right? For the working family line. They did that to simply clog up that line. So this is just tactics that they use. They put people to split votes. They put people in races to deplete people's funds. They put people in races to clog up political party lines. Yeah, that's going on. That's actually really, really going on. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you? That's okay with you then. Why am I doing this? Carlos Burgos. Rubo is Spano's boy. Nader is Zahi's guy. Okay, so they got like a bet. Can I get in on that bet? what's the odds or whatever? So it's a friendly thing though. It's not like they don't like each other or they, but it's a friendly thing, right? Rubo is Spano guy, from what I hear. He's the golden boy with the golden smile and the blue suit and the brown shoes. And Nader Zahi's guy, supported by Zahi Juris, the gentleman that is currently managing the campaign for Judge Ada Medina, Precision Strategies. Son is Frankie Juris, who gets a lot of credit. Many of these elected officials give Frankie Juris a lot of credit, man. The guy must be good. What I would like to know, what are you actually doing, right? I got an idea. Let's put all Black women in the council, and then let's redistrict Yonkers and make it all white. So then in the future, when people look back, they say, what happened? But it was all Black women that did it. Right, Larry Sykes? Right, Larry Sykes? Psych. Zahi is a political operative. He is behind many of the elected officials that you see there at the city council meetings. And according to sources and people here in the city of Yonkers, the other half belong to the Spano team. It's two teams, right? And that's who dominate the politics here in the city of Yonkers. You have to go through one of the two teams. Otherwise, you're more than likely not going to win. You need their support. You need their endorsement, but not just their endorsement. You get the endorsement of the fire union, the police union, DPW, right? So if you have the support of the mayor, then you get these unions to support you. If you support, if they have Zahi, then you get another set of group of individuals to support you. They know very rich people, so they throw these campaign fundraisers for the elected officials, and they invite all their rich friends that, come because they know they have to write this check if they want to get some respect. And I mean, respect when it comes time to do business, they want to be considered. They want to keep that contract, right? They want to be the ones to come tow your car when there's an accident. Yonkers police has to call a tow truck or an ambulance. Somebody got hurt, right? So various contracts, or if they have to recommend, someone to a psychiatrist or an architect, because the building department loves to recommend certain architects or architect, right? That's what they did to me. I almost felt like, are you trying to send me a message? If I use this guy, you guys won't give me any more problems? Yeah, I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm still going to get it. So, and watch me. And I did. So, that's how it works here. That's how it operates. So you have these two teams, and that's the reason why you get individuals in, right? So if I was to be, let's say, a team, I have my individuals, I'm going to put the money up, they win. Now that individual has to vote a certain way because they need to do that for me so I can help my buddies out. Like, listen, Tasha Diaz, I need you to kill the housing ordinance. You know what I mean? Because otherwise the developers that came to your fundraiser, like the one that you did over there in Pelham, the one that was very, very, very far from District 3. Pelham, that community where the people from the district you represent would probably never be able to afford or probably would have the cops called on them, that neighborhood. Yeah, right? That fundraiser you did there and those people that came there, they didn't come there because they like Tasha Diaz or because you know them. You didn't know them before this. Those guys with the Hermes belts and the Gucci shoes, you didn't know them. You know, they didn't live in Jefferson Towers. So they were brought there by these individuals. That's how it goes. Listen, I'm going to run you. Okay. I'm going to bring my crew, my people, my connections, my friends. They're going to come. They're going to write you a bunch of checks. Some people are going to bring cash. Yeah. And that's how it goes. And don't think this is your money, Tashi, or whoever. I don't want to pick on Tasha. She looked very sad lately. I don't want to pick on you. Somebody said that she takes a Valium before a meeting. That's what somebody said. That Zahi actually, they said Zahi has a tick. This is what people had told me. I don't know, true or not. But she did look very sad, and how it came up is because I said that. I said she's been looking very sad lately. She like even the hair went brown. Everything went just kind of brown and down. Before it was blonde and bright. And so she looks sad, and they say, "Oh, it's because she's taking a Valium before the meeting." I said, "Really?" Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, Zahi, Tasha Diaz was one of Zahi's candidates or elected officials that he controls. There was Gordon Burroughs, I believe, when Tasha Diaz ran, and that was like they said, here Spano and Zahi, and why Zahi was able to get back in the fold after he got out of federal prison was because he was able to prove that he still had it. He got Tasha Diaz elected. He proved that he still had it. And, from what people say, he's very good at it. He's very good in this political game, so Zahi, much props to you. You're very good. People do say that, man. People say you are smart. Your son knows what he's doing.
Game over.
No, it's not game over. It's actually, yeah. Yeah, so congrats to you, Zahi and Frank. I hear you guys are very, very good at what you do. You got Tasha Diaz elected and many others that people thought had no chance of winning. Had no chance. I mean, I understand why. So that's how it works. And and so now, they have this whole scrambling that's going on because you have elections coming up. You have Mike Breen is going to be done over there in the 5th. You have, I believe Tasha Diaz is also coming up for re-election in the 3rd. You have Nader. He's up for re-election. Then, next year you'll have the mayor's seat coming up for re-election. And I believe maybe Shanae also is up for re-election. Shanae? Shanae's up for re-election? Yeah, I think Shanae maybe. These are important seats that people are going to want to retain, control of. So they're scrambling. They're looking for certain individuals to keep, to put in there or to keep those that are already in there because you have to maintain that power. You can't allow, other people to get in, especially the mayor's seat. The mayor's seat is super big. Super, super, super big. That's very important. And everyone's talking about that. Everyone has their eye in it. And I don't care what people say. I'm talking about, people on the inside, insiders or officials, that's on the forefront of their mind. People like Anthony Moranti, he wants it. Nader Sage wants it. John Rubo wants it. And these guys want it bad. I mean, they want it bad. And these are, Mike Spano wants it. I don't know if Mike wants it. It takes a nice guy, and it seems like a nice guy, and I just feel like I think he's probably just tired of it, really. He's like, I just want to be done with this already, and I got to be doing what I got to do, you know what I mean? I really don't think he really does want it. I mean, get a lot of, and I don't know whether you believe it deservingly or not. You get a lot of, you get darts thrown at you, man. You're a big target, so that's politics for you, but I know I do a lot of, I aim at some of the elected officials, but I mean, got to see some of the things they do and say, and not necessarily the mayor, because I really see and hear from him. But when you watch the council meetings, and Shanae Williams says, "Oh, I didn't know we were supposed to have questions. Oh, well, I don't have any. I like her any, whatever." And then Corazon has a silly question, and it's just crazy. Like, and it's insulting to me. It's insulting, you know. It insults. It's just a lack of respect for us, the people here in the state of Yonkers. It's just a lack of respect. It truly is a lack of respect. You know, because they are paid from our tax money to do a job on our behalf. On our behalf, not on Sehi's behalf, not on any of the Spanos' behalf or whoever, but on the people's behalf. And they don't do that. And they make a mockery of it, you know, and you can see that at the meeting. And that, to me, you know, it's very frustrating, and you know, it should piss everybody off. Everyone should be pissed off about that. Absolutely should be pissed off. And, you know, everyone that's here now that's up for re-election, it's got to go. They got to go. They got to go. And if we have Mike being a nader, I say everybody write somebody else in. Write a name in. Let's all think about someone we could write in, and let's write them in. Let's do that. We don't want neither one of you. We're writing in Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, where are you? We want you to be the assemblyman. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, that's my Sunday review. You know, I just want to see the politicians give as much effort, energy as they do for these trending topics like Ukraine, you know, and whatever else they like to jump on, because they're gathering, they're doing all this stuff. And it's like, this thing's right here that need attention. Why don't you guys give that same energy? Like when Rubo did a whole hour town hall on sustainable energy to defend them, and they're unconstitutional and illegal, right? Right, kind of unconstitutional and illegal tactic that they use in automatically switching people over to Sustainable Westchester. And he sat there a whole hour as if he worked for them. And I'm like, really? And you can't do this for issues that we have here in the city? People who reach out to you guys for help, and you send generic emails, if you even send an email. Anyway, folks, that's my thing for tonight. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Thank you for joining me. Check out the podcast from Friday, the weekend review. It's up there. Check it out if you didn't watch it. It's interesting. All right. Enjoy. And if you have anything, reach out to me. And by the way, I do want to say this. I'm going to keep saying it. CSEA. Are they working on a contract? What's going on with that? The president, vice president, anybody, CSEA is looking for a contract. If people promise to help them, please help them. I know that they're probably treated the worst out of everybody in the schools. I'm Freddie Vasquez, based in politics. Peace out. Get out of here. Sunday, man. I'm tired. I am Freddie Vasquez. That was Basement Politics Unfiltered, Sunday's review. I will be back on tomorrow to do my usual.
Let's get it poppin'.
Thank you, folks, for joining me. Have a great week. And don't forget Mike Green's announcement on March 11th for Assembly. Also, Nader Sage's fundraising event, March 19th, over there at the Roosevelt Ballroom. Do attend if you're interested.
Game over.
No!
Letting Helen off easy.
Are we doing interviews right now?
Yes, I sent that text message yesterday if you had any questions for the candidates.
Yes, but I thought it was going to be like after we went through the agenda, we would then do interviews. But I'm okay. I don't have any questions. I know.
Okay.
I think she's great. I think she'll be a great first deputy council or council.
Come on, give it to us straight.
Okay.
All right, item number 2.
Yes, we're going to put this item onto the agenda.
All right,